This is a quick energy cleanse I use for my home and my body together. I would like you to know that you do not need these exact tools to reset your energy. You are the main tool. Before I start moving through my space, I pause first. I do not rush into the ritual. I open my windows or a door if I can, just to create movement and allow energy to leave. Then I stand still for a moment, feet on the floor, shoulders relax, unclench my jaw. I usually put one hand on my heart and one on my stomach. And I take a slow breath in through my nose and a full breath out through my mouth. And I do it again. And I slowly inhale through the nose and I hold it and I exhale through the mouth. And then one more time, I want you to inhale peace and exhale pressure. I move on to light my sage. And as I light it, I remind myself that this is not about performance. It's about presence. It's about intention. And this is about releasing what no longer belongs in me or in this space. And I gently let the flame catch. And then I blow it out so the smoke begins to rise. And as the smoke rises, I begin speaking life into the space. I like to begin near the entrance of my home or the entrance of the room. For me, this creates a clear starting point. I stand there for a moment and I say, I cleanse this space with intention. I release heaviness. I release stress. I release stagnated energy. Anything that does not belong here must leave now. Only peace, clarity, truth, and protection may remain. And then I begin to walk the room clockwise. And as I walk clockwise, I move slowly and intentionally. I do not rush. I let the ritual breathe. I guide the smoke into the corners first because corners can hold stillness and trapped energy. I move the sage gently with my hand. I move along the walls, around the windows, near the mirrors, near the doorways, and around the areas where we gather, rest, speak, and carry emotion. And as I walk, I speak. As I move through this room clockwise, I release all tension that does not belong here. I release fear. I release conflict. I release emotional heaviness. I release confusion, frustration, and stress. Anything carried in here through hard moments, difficult thoughts, or emotional weight, I release now. This home is not a resting place for chaos. This home is not a containers for yesterday's pressure. This home is allowed to rest. This home is allowed to reset. Peace lives here. Calm lives here. Truth lives here. Safety lives here. Love lives here. Alignment lives here. And as I continue walking clockwise, I stay aware of my own body too. Every few steps, I stop and take one conscious breath. Inhale through the nose for 4, hold gently for 2, and exhale through the mouth for 6. And as I breathe out, I imagine releasing anything that I've been carrying in my own body while I clear the room. And I do that again. I inhale peace. I hold it. And I exhale what is heavy. I inhale clarity. I hold it. And I exhale what's cloudy. I inhale calm. I hold it. And then I exhale what's not mine. Once I have moved through the room, I bring the ritual back to my own body. I bring the smoke gently around myself, always carefully and with respect. I start at the top of my head and I move downward over my head, around my shoulders, near my chest, around my arms and hands, around my stomach, down my legs, towards my feet. And as I do, I say, I release tension from my body. I release stress from my nervous system, and I release emotional residue that I do not need to carry. I release what is heavy. I release what is old, and I release what is not aligned. My body is allowed to soften. My mind is allowed to settle, and my energy is allowed to return to me clean, clear, and grounded. And after I clear the space in my body, I hold my crystals for a moment. This is where I shift from releasing to anchoring. I hold one hand near my heart, the other hand back on my stomach. And I say, I anchor peace here. I anchor clarity. I anchor grounding here. I anchor protection here. Let this space hold the energy I am choosing with intention. These crystals remind me of what I am calling in. Not perfection, not control, but peace, presence, and alignment. When I finish, I return to the place where I started near the entrance of my home or the doorway. This matters to me because I'd like to close the ritual out where I opened it. It creates a full circle. I stand still again, my feet grounded, my shoulders soft, and my breath is steady. And I say, this cleansing is complete. What needed to leave has left. What I have called in is welcome here. This home is cleared, the body is cleared, and the energy is reset. I thank this space. I thank my body, and I thank the tools that supported my intention. And I thank myself for taking the time to come back to center. And to end the ritual, I safely extinguish everything with care. And I make sure the sage is out completely. I never leave anything burning unattended. I take one final breath in through the nose, exhale through the mouth, and I seal it with, it's done, it's cleared, it's aligned.